Hi, this is Sam Gwynne coming to you from a 150-foot limestone cliff overlooking beautiful Barton Creek in Austin, where I live. This is my backyard. And when I first moved here, I realized that this creek, Barton Creek, one of the more famous bodies of water in the state, was a whitewater paradise when we had flood rains. And so I learned to paddle a kayak down this, and it got me interested in paddling. And paddling eventually got me interested in doing these other Texas rivers. Now, there aren't that many rivers in Texas, but a lot of them are great. And so I started to paddle rivers kind of Austin westward, so Guadalupe and Comal and San Marcos and so forth, and then eventually the Devil's River. But there was one that I always really wanted to do, the Pecos, because the Pecos is just the mythic river of Texas. I mean, I think everybody kind of knows the term west of the Pecos. Pecos was something that people coming west had to cross, at least in this part of the country. You had to cross in order to get to California. It was notoriously harsh. The Spanish found it notoriously harsh. So I thought, well, why don't I paddle the Pecos? What a great idea. I'll go do that. And then come to find out that the Pecos itself is extremely inaccessible river. It is one that you can't go on for a day or two or three or four or even five. You've got to stay on it longer than that. It is isolated to such an extent that you can't hike out of it really. If you're in trouble, you're going to have to be rescued some other way. 150, 200-foot stone cliffs on either side of it going down, rapids on the way down. It is a difficult river to do. But anyway, so we decided to do it. So we got together. And one of the great things about the journalism business is that sometimes you get to do exactly what you want to do and get paid and have your expenses paid to do it. So in this case, the vehicle was Outside Magazine. And so they sent a professional photographer along with us. There were 4 of us totally, 2 of my friends. So yes, I get to bring my friends too for free. Photographer comes. We have 2 boats, which is insane on the Pecos. You never take 2 boats on the Pecos, because if you lose one, you don't want to think about what's going to happen then. And so we take off down this river. Now, the interesting thing about the Pecos is it's a river that originates in New Mexico, and it's this quite beautiful little river, fishing stream. But because in the West it's sort of a competitive water game, so New Mexico takes all the water so that Texas can't get it. So that by the time the Pecos River crosses the Texas-New Mexico border, or I should say the New Mexico-Texas border, coming south, it's a little miserable, foul, weed-choked drainage ditch about 8 feet wide. That's what the Pecos River is. You can cross it on a highway near the state borders. But what happens after that is this miracle that no one can see. It's all these giant spring-fed creeks come into the Pecos and they regenerate the thing. And pretty soon it's this phenomenally beautiful river that's crystal clear. And because of these kind of little organisms on the limestone bottom, on the limestone bottom, the water looks like a travel ad for the Caribbean. It is turquoise. It is crystal clear. You can see crawdads. You can look down through 15 feet of water and see a crawdad crawling on it. It's spectacular, the whole thing. And on the way down, as you go, there's this whoosh as these springs come in and the river is reborn. The camping was phenomenal. The fishing was unbelievable. I just beyond your wildest dreams. And but maybe the best part for me of all, well, it was just an adventure. It was running the whitewater and losing the boats, and we didn't get, the boats weren't destroyed, but they went bye-bye down a class 3 rapid. But maybe the best part for me was something called Piggy Panther. It was a 3,000-year-old piece of cave painting, about 50 foot long. We had to be some of the few white people ever to see. And also petroglyphs, again, beyond your wildest imagination. The thing about this trip is you don't do it in a day or two. We did, I think it was 6 or 7 nights on the river. And so by the time you come out at the end, I mean, you've had a lot of river miles paddling, including some obstructions like what they call the flutes, where you got to drag your canoe for a couple of miles. But anyway, it was a wonderful trip. I can't say that I recommend it. I mean, I do recommend it, but you have to be ready to be rough and rugged and outdoors. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the story, and thanks for listening.